Hello everybody, it's Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield here from Transport Evolved. It is wet and horrible and just the suckiest day today. We've got a really nasty storm that's taking hold of the Pacific Northwest, which is not so great. And we've got a power cut back at the Transport Evolved studio, which is, we have a power cut back at the Transport Evolved headquarters, which is basically my house. And that means I can't do any video editing. Now, I've written the script for 10 today. I'm working on another video for another client, and things are okay. I'm actually ahead of myself. Normally I haven't finished writing this script, but this power cut happened at about 6:30. I just got out the shower, and the power went while I was blowing my hair. My wife thought I'd electrocuted myself, but it's all good. And so I've had no power all day. So probably about 5 square miles, and 10,000 people are off or something crazy like that. But here's my solution, because I need to use my main desktop machine to access some of the video that I need for today's show. Otherwise I'd just be using my laptop. I'm in Portland, Oregon. And so what we're doing is I am charging up our Nissan Leaf. This is our local rapid charging station, which is working, which is top notch. I'm going to have to pay for the electricity, but I don't mind. The car was full this morning, but then I drove my other half to work, and so we're going to top it back off. So this is the Chademo DC quick charger doing its thing right now, sorting that out. And then I've just gone to Home Depot and I've been buying things. So that's them pesky electric cars going up charging stations, yes. So I bought a 1 kilowatt, you can see there, a 1 kilowatt inverter, which I can use to connect my Nissan Leaf to the car. And then I've got about 120 feet worth of high gauge cabling, so that I can then run a power cable up to my office and power my editing machine. So what we're going to do is 1 whole kilowatt, which is enough to run a desktop machine. If you think most desktops are not very big, most desktops today, most modern desktops, are actually, they don't have a huge amount of power drain from them. The power supply in my main computer, my editing machine, is rated for about 650, 700 watts. Normally it pulls about half a kilowatt. So 500 watts. But even if you add a monitor to that, you're still looking at only sort of 700-800 watts. And so what my plan is to go home, to plug the car in, turn the inverter on, plug the extension cables into the inverter, and run the computer off my car. Now, right now I'm charging up the Leaf. The Leaf has technically got a 24 kilowatt hour battery pack, so technically you could run it for 24 hours, producing, you'd think 1 kilowatt for 24 hours, that would be 24 kilowatt hours. It's not quite like that, because what you get is, there's going to be losses. So I'm not plugging into the main 400 or whatever volt battery that's underneath this car. That would be insane. I would love to do that. And if you live in Japan, you can actually buy something called a Leaf to Home system that allows you, when you get home, to plug your car into your house. It charges your car up, 6 kilowatt charger, and then if there's a power cut, it magically starts drawing power from your vehicle's battery to keep the house running, which I think is fantastic. That's not possible over here in the United States, at least not for consumers. So I'm having to use a 12 volt system, which is slightly different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug an inverter, or connect an inverter to the 12 volt accessory battery on my Nissan Leaf. And I will draw 1 kilowatt from that. Now obviously, if I'm drawing 1 kilowatt from my 12 volt battery, it will be dead pretty quickly. But I've done my math. The Nissan Leaf, when you've got your wipers on, your lights on, your heated seats, your heated steering wheel, you've got the blowers on full blast, it draws about 1 kilowatt. So the DC to DC converter inside the Nissan Leaf is great. It will take the mains, it will take the 400 volts or so of the main traction battery and step that down to 12 volts. And it will provide enough power to that 12 volt accessory battery so that nothing bad happens. And it will essentially, I'll be piggybacking off that connection. So I'll run my inverter off the 12 volt battery, and the 12 volt battery will be powered by the battery in this. And right now, this car is getting its power from a Blink DC quick charging station. Now the power is due to go back on about 4 o'clock. Now 2 or 3 hours ago they said it was going to be sort of 1 o'clock, but now it's looking closer to 4 p.m. Now had I been assured that okay, we're going to get our power back on about noon, 1 o'clock, I probably wouldn't have bothered. But for $200, which is all this cost me, $200, that's all it cost me. So if you want to help me out, go to patreon.com/Transport Evolved, and you can make a donation there to the Transport Evolved page. And that really is how it's going to be. I'm quite excited about this because I'm going to do a video about this. I'm probably not going to do a video about it today because I've got to film, going to go home, put my makeup on, make myself look pretty, and then do the filming. But later on, I'm going to do this properly. And when I get my RAV4 EV back, I'm going to probably put the inverter in the RAV because, to be honest, because the RAV can't charge anywhere other than home, I think the RAV is probably going to make a really good backup power. Why is your steering wheel on the wrong side? Because I live in the United States of America, and we're in Portland, Oregon, and yeah. But you're seeing a reverse image, I think. Actually, I think, if I remember this correctly, there's a bug in the YouTube software. So you're seeing a mirror image. So let me switch it. See, look. This is the correct side for the United States. This is the correct side. But because I'm talking to you through a mirror, I don't know why it flips it. But that's why it looks a bit weird. So this is the right side of my face. This is the left side of my face. And it all looks a bit weird because it's mirrored. But don't worry, we're good. Let me see if I can actually... See if I can figure out... You get it's funny. Yes, I do. Right, I've done something. There we go. So what we're doing right now is I'm checking to see. Let's turn this on. Let's see how we're doing. So right now, according to my Leaf, I did tell it to charge to 100%. Right now it's at 88%.
Joust, William.
Because there's nobody else here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it until it gets as close to 100% as possible. I could, maybe leave now. We are at 88% right now. Now, honestly, I need about 50% left in the battery by this evening if I need to go and pick my other half up, because if the tri-met's off, we're screwed. Oh, the mirror thing ruined you. You can't concentrate anymore. Overload. Maybe I need to sit on that side of the car and then it will be correct. But my plan is, as I was saying, I'm at 89%. Yay. My plan is to go to, when I've got the RAV4 back on the road, the RAV4 EV, is to maybe actually connect that inverter permanently in the car. This is a coconut cold brew. I kind of got it because I needed to kill a bit of time and I can't make any coffee at home. So I'm doing that instead. But I mean, this is my idea. This is my test. I've known other people that have done this, so I know it's possible. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it will work. It's 11:36 right now. So my hope is that if I record it now, then you'll see it, hopefully, in about 4 or 5 hours. Now, there is one caveat to this. When I'm producing Transport Evolved, I have to produce huge amounts of video, and I actually download huge amounts of third-party video, like B-roll from car companies and whatnot. And today's show requires that I download quite a large number of B-roll assets from other sites because, you know, I'm doing new stuff. And today, obviously, that means that I need to use my cable internet connection. Now, my cable modem has a backup battery, and it's currently sitting in our closet in our bedroom, beeping at me. So when I get home, I half expect it to be dead. And if it's dead, I may not be able to connect it back to the internet. So I might be able to produce a show, I might not be able to upload it, but we'll cross that bridge later when we come to it. We are now at 90%, and charging really has slowed down a lot. You're probably only putting maybe 15 kilowatts into the battery right now. But the good thing is that this place, yes, it was. I'll answer that question. I'll finish my thought in a second. Nissan did make a concept that could use your car's battery to power your home. It's called the Leaf to Home system. It's available in Japan. You can buy one. If you live in Japan, you can buy one for your house. You just can't do it over here. And I don't know if it's because in Japan you're on 100 volts, over here you're on 110. Obviously in Europe you're on 230, 240. But it might be that it just hasn't come over here yet. I've been pestering PGE, Portland General Electric, to try and encourage them to work with Nissan to bring one over here and test it out. Because obviously if I had a Leaf to Home system, job would be a good one. I should also note here that if I owned my own home, the chances are that I'd probably save up and get a Tesla battery or some other battery system so that this wasn't an issue, and solar panels, so I could power my home, my car, everything, and be renewable. But currently, we've only been in the United States sort of 15, 18 months, and because of financial burdens associated with healthcare costs, we've had a family member who's been kind of sick. We don't have a whole lot of spare cash to buy a house right now, so we're renting, and eventually, yes, we'll buy a house, and eventually, yes, we'll probably put battery pack on the wall. And there's some big old clouds coming, so I'm really glad I'm doing this now because it's lovely and sunny. And I'm also hoping that everything's going to be okay back at home. I'm actually going to have to film in my daughter's bedroom today because it's the only room that has enough light right now to look good on camera. That might change actually. By the time I get home, that might have changed. I might have to do it in the lounge, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. It depends whether the clouds are out or not, or whether the sun is out. 91%. Now at this point, we're really slowing down. We're really charging very, very slowly. Hello, what's up? Hope the family is okay. Yes, the family is okay. I have someone in my family who is dealing with a lot of stuff, and they are currently in a treatment facility, and it's been tough. It's one of the reasons why I haven't been able to devote as much time to Transport Evolved as I would have liked until fairly recently. Hello, Chevy. It's okay, you can come in. I'm not going anywhere. 91%, 64 miles of range. Family first always. Yes, definitely. So I've just realised I look really tired. I do sleep. Isn't it important that you keep power in the car in case of an emergency? Yes, it is. But here's the thing. So this 1 kilowatt power system that I've just purchased, it's not going to let me draw more than 1 kilowatt, right? And even if we assume there will be losses in the system, and there will be, so 1 kilowatt hours worth of power coming from the car's main traction battery, let's be pessimistic and say that translates to only 800 watt hours. So we lose 200 watt hours of electricity in losses in the system from the car's battery pack to the 120 volts that I need to use to power my system. Let's assume that's the case. Even if that's the case, there's enough power in this battery pack right now. I've got between 14 and 18 kilowatt hours in the battery pack. I will be able to power my editing machine for 4 or 5 hours without even being worried. C0 burns around 0.4 to 0.5 kilowatt hours on its own when powered on, and I'd missed that bit. But that's cool. And I do like this format too. It's very nice, isn't it? I hope you've been enjoying the new videos and things that we've been doing on Transport Evolved as well. I'm working with a friend of mine who I want to start paying and employing. We don't have enough money coming in yet to have that happen though, but she'll be making some videos as well, so jobs are good. I would really like Transport Evolved to be where the Linus Tech Media Group is. Hope it all works out for you. Me too. Have you lost any capacity bars yet? Not on this car. This car is a 2013 Nissan Leaf. It's got 58,635 miles on it, and it has lost no capacity bars. My good friend Mark Chatterley, who you remember from the early days of Transport Evolved, who lives down in Gloucestershire in the UK, he has lost his second capacity bar, which is interesting. USA homes, and he lost it, it's about 63,000 miles or something. USA homes use more electricity than Japanese homes. They're totally right. Our electricity bill over here in the United States, we are getting through between 30 and 50 kilowatt hours of electricity per day, whereas back in Blighty, we were using about 20 kilowatt hours max, nearer to 10 to 15 most days. So the houses are bigger. Rental house that we are in, it's got electric hot water heater that just sits in the downstairs by the garage, and it just continuously boils water even if you're not using it, which I think is incredibly inefficient. The washing machine and the dishwasher, they use hot water from that tank rather than heating it themselves. So again, that's very inefficient. And the dryer, when we first moved in, the dryer wasn't working properly, and so it was pushing. We had to use, huge amounts of electricity. Hi from the UK. Can you do an in-depth article on how to use the Leaf Spy? Do you mean an article or do you mean a video? Because we can do both. I could do another video. I would totally be okay for that. I've got some other content actually that's going to be coming up. I've got a 12-volt battery update for you guys. Either or. Yes, absolutely, Martin. We can do that. Can you do a live stream road trip with Bjorn Nyland? Funnily enough, I reached out to Bjorn years ago and said, would you like to work together? And he said no, he doesn't work with other people. Did you see Nissan Folly? Yes, I did. Robert Llewellyn, yes, he's wonderful. I saw that. Robert is a good, wonderful buddy of mine. He is lovely. I miss him to bits because we used to do... what you may not know is when there was a press launch, if we both went on a press launch, we used to end up sharing a car because they pair you off. So, I'd be sat in the car like this, hiding while he filmed his review. And then when it was my turn to film the review, he'd be like that as well. So we'd hide off camera. So I actually drove, when we went to from Oslo to London, when he drove that trip, I was the other driver. So that was a fun trip. We enjoyed that. And I saw the one that we did. Yes. I would love to see that happen as well, and I think it probably will. Do you think there will be... I'm talking to him about some various things. Do you think there will be a third-party suppliers for high-capacity Leaf batteries? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know if the market's there. It's going to be a cottage industry, and I don't know if people are going to be prepared to pay high amounts of money for it. Now, talking about batteries, a lot of people have said to me, why are you still driving the RAV4 EV? Because it's old, and, it's not very cost effective. And, for me, the RAV4 EV is special because it's an historic vehicle. There's only 350 of them left in the world, and I'm driving one. I've just got the batteries. There are 3 modules that are thinking about dying, and so the place where the car is at the moment said, do you want me to change those 3 modules out, or do you want the car back? And they said if we change the modules now, it's not going to cost you any extra, but if you take the car back and then you have those modules die, you're gonna have to pay extra. So I went, okay, just keep the car a bit longer, sort the modules out. I'm saving up $700 for a new windshield because the car came from Where did it come from? It came from Southern California, and therefore it got absolutely hammered by dust storms and all these other things, and that wasn't very good for the car. So, did I see that Hyundai's Ioniq eliminated the 12-volt battery? They figured out a way to power 12-volt stuff off part of the main drive battery, and they don't have 12-volt batteries. I didn't know that, but that's fantastic. Of course, it would cause some issues here unless there's the 12-volt takeoff. I mean, that's you know, I quite like having that for this car. My City L did not have a 12-volt battery. It has a booter connection. Ah, clever. Well, I've jump-started other people's cars with this, and I've jump-started my RAV4 EV with this car. Of course, I've had to jump-start this car with, you know, other things. We put a 30 kilowatt hour 2016 Leaf pack and a 2013 Leaf, so do not believe Nissan. Tell me about that. Is it actually, does it work? I'd love to see that. Where are you based? Tell me. I want to see that. I need to see that. 94%. I think I'm just going to go in a minute because I want to get this video. Ever going on a road trip soon? Would love to see you do a road trip. I would love to. Greetings from Luxembourg and hello to Belgium as well. Am I ever going on a road trip? Yes. Florida. Ed, let's talk. Send me an email. I'd love to see what you did there. I'd love to go on a road trip. People keep asking me why I don't do more with Tesla. Tesla won't let people have cars. In the UK, I could get a car. I could get a Tesla. The Tesla press team would let you have a car. In the US, trying to get a Tesla to do a proper road trip is a pain in the butt. Tesla's response is, we'll come down to Silicon Valley and you can drive one here. Well, you know, flying down to Silicon Valley is not cheap. So, driving my Volt Gen 1 trying to get 60 miles today. Ooh, downhill. Well, good luck. I think the most I've ever got out of a Gen 1 was about 46 miles. So there you go. What about in my Leaf? Yes, I would love to do a road trip. I've got a couple of things coming up. So I occasionally go up to Seattle for other things that I do. And there's a convention in November that I'm going to in Seattle, which I will probably drive up to. So I might do a road trip then. Ooh. Sparky, not a Spark EV, Honda Fit EV, I think, by the colour. Although I'm not entirely sure. 35 so far, 31 on the guessometer. Well, I've got 95% now on my battery. So I'm probably down to like watts. Is that you know what? I don't think it's the electric one. I'm curious. No, it's a petrol one. Not a problem. The trick was to use the computer from 16 so that the Leaf would not be stuck at 25 miles per hour. Oh, I see. I'm very interested. Let's talk about that because I'd love to know. I would love to put a Nissan Leaf 30 kilowatt hour Leaf pack in my RAV4. It's something that I want to do in the future. I'm also going to add J1772 charging, but I really need to find a sponsor for that because I can't afford to, you know, that's several $1,000s. I'd love to do that. And I'd love to do more DIY videos actually. But I just, you know, obviously I need to find some sponsors willing to work with me. Do you think any car manufacturers will take Tesla offer and design cars to work with their charging stations? Well, there's already some hints that some of the German manufacturers might be doing that. There are a few Leaf batteries in the scrap heap, ask Robert. I got myself 2 of them and not too much now, need to connect them. Okay, to the Transit Azure. Lovely, that's going to be wonderful. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. That would be good to see. Would love if we could use... I do not think it would fit in your RAV4. Is Tesla big screen voice activated? No. No, it's not. I don't think so. If you want another secret, I'm going to be putting Android in my RAV4. Hi from Canada, shopping for a new EV. I like the Leaf, but undecided if I should wait for the new one. Yes, you should. Unless you only need 100 and, well, what it's going to be about 200 Ks. In which case, just go for the 2016. What is your opinion about the BMW i3 BEV? Is it really good or just brand hype? I don't like the BEV, the i3 BEV, but the new one is supposedly better. I think so. A flight from Portland to SFO is as little as $151 round trip, maybe. Who wants to buy my 214 Technica Leaf fully equipped in the UK? Have you thought about researching EV license restrictions to get a holistic picture of an EV adoption versus new car purchases? No, I haven't, but that might be a fun one to do. 95%, ladies and gentlemen. And since I live just a block or two, well, not a block. No, not Android. Hello, a dog. Woof. Hello. I'm bored 200. I've ordered a Renault Zoe with a 41 kilowatt hour battery. Is that any good? I think you mean 41 kilowatt hour, not kilowatts. Is that any good? I've heard good things. I haven't driven it because they announced it after I left the UK. So why are you live? Where is 10? Good question. 10 is being produced later on today. So I live in Portland. For those who don't know, there's been a power cut and there's no power at the Transport Evolved office. None. That's my house, by the way. No power. And in order to produce 10, I need to power my desktop machine. Do you have a level... Does you have your level 2 harder? My level 2 charger does have a plug, yes. So right now, I am here in the United States, charging my car. I'm at 95%. I'm keeping an eye out for other drivers. If someone else turns up, I'm just going to go. But otherwise, I'm just going to let it go to 98%. And then what I've got in my trunk, I've just gone to Home Depot and spent $200. I've got an inverter, and I've got a very long cable. I'm going to power my house from my car. In the US, do EVs still need to buy a tag? In the UK, they classed as milk floats. Be careful about that, because actually no, the passenger vehicles are slightly different to commercial vehicles. You have to register your car. Should you charge an electric car to 100%? Well, yes, you can, because you don't actually ever charge the car. When the car says it's 100%, it's not. It's about 80%. Can't read these comments coming up. Free charge? Unfortunately, no. But this is a an occasional use scenario where it's okay, because I don't need. Without a plug, how do you resolve a ground fault error on your charger? I do have a plug. I have a plug in my car has a plug. I do plug in, but I also have the inductive charging system. Maybe we'll have to have a Q&A with Steve from Plugless Power. Thanks for all the great videos. Thank you for watching. How expensive is the electricity where you live? Is it more expensive than the UK? No, it's not. It's about 9 cents per kilowatt hour. I power my house with my Fluence ZE. The DC-DC converter on the car is capable of 1 kilowatt output. Then just use an inverter, and that is what I'm doing today. That's why we're doing this right now. I'm just about ready to go, because I've got the last of my bars up. Here we go. It says 67 miles because of the rain and everything else. It's been really terrible today. And the wind, I mean, you can just see. Let me open this. This is pretty big stormy weather. We had gusts of up to 50 miles an hour earlier on. And now, my power's definitely gonna stay off until 4, because I'll get home now. It's coming up to noon. I'm gonna get home and the power will be on, I know it. But let us see. I think I'm gonna stop the charging. Why is the power out? Is it common? It's not common, and the power is out because it's bloody windy. Hello from Singapore. I make a wild guess on how much it will cost to buy an EV, not an EV, but a Toyota Prius in Singapore. Oh, I don't know. About $25,000 equivalent. Wind. I will email you later. Thank you, Ed. Yeah, I mean, let's go outside. Let's turn this off, and then I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to go home, put my makeup on, film the show, and then it'll be online probably in about 6 or 7 hours, assuming that my little project works. 130, oh my goodness, that's expensive. Hello from Lancashire. I love the show. I miss Lancashire. I miss the north of England, actually. I've never really lived there, but I used to travel up there quite a lot. I know. Good morning from Australia. You look great without makeup. Thank you. Not everyone agrees. I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm on medication. It makes it very difficult for me to do that. I used to be very slim. Right. I want to do a half marathon at some point in the next year or so, and next year I want to... Sorry about that. So what was I going to say? Yes, I want to do. I'm trying to lose weight at the moment. I'm getting there better. I'm running, and I want to do 5k this year, maybe do a half marathon at some point in the next year or so. I have to be careful because I've got a heart condition, which means that bad things can happen if I run too hard. And then next year I think I'm probably going to try and do a 5k in costume. So 96%, let me show you a blink charging station here. This is 96%. So I'm going to actually now stop it. This bugs me because anybody can wander up to the charging station while it's charging and turn off your car, which then of course unlocks it from here. So, and I'll show you, here we go. I was charged $5.31 for 10.85 kilowatt hours. So that's quite a lot. But your first one, I'll often say the first one I think you should consider pre-owned unless you're really... It is expensive, but it's only because right now I'm going to do some other things now. I'm going to say goodbye so I don't drive and do video stuff. There are free places nearby, but the problem is the place that's free right now is going to be full of all the Leaf drivers who want to charge up for free. So, and it's further from my house, so I really want to get as much power in my car as possible. So, I'm going to go see if I can get this thing working, and if I can, you'll see a 10 later on today. Ta-da! Thanks for watching.